Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and in our continuation of the Snap On Toolbox tour, today we're going to do a quick review of the what I call the fractional drawer, or American sized or British sized or non-metric or imperial, or I don't know, whatever name we call it. But this is the stuff that generally is in fractions of an inch, or standard, or ASE. And I honestly don't go into this drawer very often. Sometimes for plumbing components, sometimes for aftermarket, attachments, hose clamps seem to require non-metric fasteners. Anyway, appliances, especially older American ones, if I'm playing around on those, require fractional. But in general, pretty much everything that's not metric lands in this drawer. So it does have my sockets in it. No drivers in here because those are in the metric drawer. I can certainly grab one out of there if I need it. But otherwise, it all lands in here. And it's not only to organize it in this drawer, but it's also to keep it out of anywhere else. So I don't accidentally, have a set of fractional sockets headed out to work on my Toyotas. So it kind of has double duty of organizing it here, and then this is where it goes. So it stays out of the mainstream of my other tool use. But anyway, I've got my spanners up in the corner. The largest, I've got this, love these old Protos. Decent quality. Good stuff, way more than I'm ever gonna, challenge here. So over an inch right here, then I've got Snap-on inch, and then I had a large set of Snap-on wrenches, and I actually sold them because I never used them except occasionally for some plumbing fittings, which, you can easily use some other wrench for because it's all low torque. But then I realized there were a few instances when I kind of needed some larger sizes for things, so I kind of built it up again. So here's a 7/8. I needed bigger than that. I got this old Blue Point Supreme for my 15/16. You can find some of the old stuff, not super high quality, but plenty good for what I do. And then I've got a combination, mostly Snap-ons here, a few Blue Points floating around. But I honestly don't use these spanners a whole lot, and because of that, they just collect dust in the drawer. I've got a small set of Snap-on spanners here, go all the way down here to an 1/8 of an inch. That's so cute. Up through, what is this guy here? 1/2 inch. Anyway, this is honestly what gets probably used the most out of the small spanners, or out of the spanners. Sockets, I've got Snap-on for deep here. I've got 1/4 inch. These are mostly Craftsman. Again, years of disuse. And then I've got Snap-on again for my 3/8 shallow. Most of these, I think all of them are a 6-point, 12-point here, but it's my preference to have 6. And I then have my 1/2 inch. I don't know if these are considered shallow or semi-deep of the fractional stuff here. Most of the time, if I go into the larger, the 1/2 inch drive fractional, I end up using my impacts, and all that stuff's out in the garage. A few smaller, cute little wrenches down there. Here's a set of Snap-on ratcheting spanner or ratcheting boxes. This occasionally comes in handy. I see that I've warrantied this one out. This is a newer one. Yeah, nothing to write home about there, but I must have broken one. Anyway, comes in handy sometimes, but honestly, if I use them a couple times a year, that's probably a lot. But they're quick, they're easy to grab here. These are Snap-ons, I think, small set of 1/4 inch drive. A couple of large ones. These might be, I think sometimes I have to use these for lug nuts. And the reason is some of the alloy rims, there's just not enough space for an impact socket. They usually have a little bit thicker walls. I've got my Allen keys. Snap-on sets are really good for supplying, you know, a full range of sizes. So I would recommend considering those, just because there's always that one size at something 64ths that you need, and Snap-on has it. I've got these come in handy. These are Blue Point, kind of like ratcheting crow's feet. Here's a standard crow's foot, and honestly, about the only time I really need these are some oddball plumbing. You know, like reaching up underneath a faucet, or some fixture and grabbing a hold to tighten or loosen. Sometimes I do water filter work, and you know, comes in handy to get up in there. A lot of the plastic and low torque stuff is still US. That's why I think it comes with the actual tools sometimes, even though they're junk, just because people don't have them anymore. But anyway, a few times these have come in pretty handy for getting, using like socket extensions way down, lining things up, and it's kind of an overkill when you could just have a, you know, a socket fit on some sort of a unique extension. But I've got them and they work. Allen wrenches, the large T-handled ones, it's older set, doesn't have the 90-degree corner or 90-degree hex on it. Doesn't really bug me because very few things take these anymore. This is the set that, if out of anything in the drawer, that gets used the most, and primarily it's these smaller hexes that just come in super handy. And I think this whole thing wasn't. Jiminy, oh, look at that little guy sneaking away down there. This particular set, I don't think I paid more than about, I don't know, 10 bucks, 15 bucks for it, maybe max. But look at that, the guy. Obviously, I have other sets I've shown you, like in my electronics drawer, but honestly, for working on firearms, these are great. These are magnetic nut drivers. I'm finding that I'm using battery tools much more. So sometimes, like working on appliances, you know, tearing apart a washing machine, dishwasher, whatever. Once I get the size I need, you know, you got to pull out like 400 little machine screws, metal screws, and these come in real handy. Throw them on an extension and on a lightweight drill and go to town. Old Snap-on 1/4 inch driver. I've got newer ones, so this one lives in this drawer. This again for appliances. This is I think the 5/16 with a magnet. Out of all the Klein nut drivers, I use this one the most for reaching in and pulling out different screws on a lot of appliances. Comes in real handy for that, and allows you to torque them down, you know, to that hand tight feel that's hard to do with a drill. Anyway, guess we're getting near the bottom. Here's what's this one? Yeah, same thing. Guess I have an older version too floating in here. Small set of ignition wrenches. I couldn't believe the price of these guys when I last saw some, but I'm after the USA made ones. They're a little harder to find these days, but for, you know, small work, they come in handy. I use the metric ones obviously a lot more, but those work for some applications that I encounter. Let's see, it's about it. I think I've got a couple of other non-metric tools floating around that I might address later that are not in the toolbox. But again, a lot of times I just want to kind of keep the US stuff out of the mix, so it lives here instead of instead of a place that's easier to grab. It does cause some confusion when, you know, if I'm asking for something and somebody digs in a drawer, they think this is the socket drawer. No, it's not. This is what the socket drawer is going to look like when we get there. But anyway, for now, that's the standard drawer, quick tour. Surprised it wasn't dusty or rusted shut, but here it is. And it's probably the last time I'll open it this year. Doc out.